Hey Brick fans, this is Dave from Brick 101, and today I'm reviewing 6 of the Mega Construx Pokemon Pokeball sets, including Abra, Eevee, Machop, Magikarp, Pikachu, and Zubat. Each of these sets has between 20 and 34 pieces and retails for about $7 in the United States. There's a link in the description where you can buy Mega Construx Pokemon sets online. Many thanks to Mattel, which owns Mega Construx, for sending me these sets for free to review. I also happened to buy a few of these sets myself. I found them in my local Target store, and so I've decided to give away some of my extra sets for free to some fans. So I'm running a giveaway from now until Monday, August 7th. There's a link in the description where you can go and enter to win one of 5 Mega Construx Pokemon sets. The 5 sets that will be up for the giveaway are Pikachu, Eevee, Machop, Magikarp, and Gyarados. After everybody enters the giveaway, I will randomly select 5 entrants to win one of these prizes. I will contact the winners individually through email, but I will also announce the winners in a video on August 10th. Official contest rules: I can only open this to people who live in the United States. That's just a law, and technically you need to be 13 years or older to enter. If you're under the age of 13, you'll need to get somebody over the age of 13 to help you with an email address to officially enter the contest. So link in the description if you want to win one of these 5 awesome Mega Construx Pokemon sets. My first kind of like Brick 101 giveaway. Woohoo! things I wanted to point out about these sets is that they all have the number 1 on the packaging. That implies to me that this is the first series of these sets that they're doing, which is really exciting. I love the idea that Mega is going to continue with this license and give us even more Pokemon. I only ever really played Red and Blue, so I'm super familiar with the first generation of Pokemon, not super familiar with second gen and on. So I'm excited about getting more first gen Pokemon, but I'm sure a lot of you are also excited about second and through whatever gen we're on now, 6th, 8th. Some Pokemon I'd love to see are Diglett, Jigglypuff, Mewtwo. Those are 3 off the top of my head. Let me know in the comments which Pokemon you're excited to see in future Mega Construx sets. So I'm going to go in alphabetical order, starting with Abra. Abra I have positioned in a sitting position, similar to how Abra looks in the official art for Pokemon. Couple things to note, they did do a nice job getting some different details in, like the brown part of the tail, little line there. The fact that each of the feet actually has 3 different toes coming off of it, definitely a big noticeable characteristic. The coloring of Abra is spot on, I think. This sort of yellowish orange color for most of the features, contrasted with that brown. Pretty good choices there for color. I think the one thing that feels a little bit off is the positioning of the printing on the face. They have the right details, the closed eyes and the little snout, but the snout should be, I think, smaller and positioned further down. Right now it kind of looks like a pig nose a little bit, and not as much like Abra. The shape of the head, I get that they're using kind of a standard headpiece for a lot of these that they're just recoloring, so I think they did a good job using that. Pretty good adaptation overall. It's also incredibly posable, so there's lots of ball joints in this. It's almost too posable, if that's a thing. So you've got articulation at shoulder and elbow on the arms. The head can, and these are all ball joint connections, so in addition to rotating, they can sort of bend and twist. I broke the head, which happens sometimes, at least if you're me. Put that back together. Oh yeah, that's the thing. There's no studs connecting the ears to the front of the face, so that's makes that connection not as great. And this one actually can stand pretty well because the feet provide some nice bases there on its own, which is good because the feet also make it weird for trying to connect to a studded base. But the legs have hips and kind of a knee, except it's like a sideways knee, I guess. Maybe. Guess you could use it like a knee. It's interesting. Sideways knee. The tail is one of the few things that's not on a ball joint, but it can rotate around. So yeah, lots of different crazy positions you could theoretically do with your Abra. So these are definitely like incredibly posable figures, which is one thing that helps offset the relatively high cost per part for these. Also, the fact that you're getting pretty custom colors and parts for each of these explains why they're basically $7 a pop, despite only having about 30 pieces. So yeah, there's some fun Abra yoga pose. Next up, we have Eevee, or a surrealist interpretation of Eevee. They did some things really right. The ears are spot on, the face looks great, the tail piece looks perfectly Eevee, but the shape of this figure, what have they done? Let's point out the things that are wrong here. Okay, the neck, the head position is just way off. It's too far back. Doesn't look like, how does a head even go that way? I get that this is supposed to be like the poofy fur around the neck, but it's just not working. because the head just doesn't look correctly positioned relative to the body. Like, it's too far back from the front legs. Heads just don't go like that, and they don't go like that on Eevee in particular. Then the legs are too short relative to the body, which begs the question, is the body too tall or the legs too short? It's wrong, and just, it kind of enters the uncanny valley of something that tries but just fails to look lifelike. So it's a little creepy in its current incarnation. However, don't be afraid. However, not to fear. Brick 101 is here. As you may know from some of my previous toy reviews, one thing I like to do is to fix mistakes like this. So let us take this apart real quick and use just the pieces in the set to build a slightly better Eevee. Okay, so take Eevee apart, leave the legs and tail on this central body piece. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fix the front. Okay, so we're going to take this 1x1 plate with a hole in the top and a stud on the front and put that here. Gosh, I'm so excited about this. Then we're going to, what are we going to do? Let's do a 1x2 tile up here. And then we're going to take this 2x2 round, put that there, and stick Eevee's head through that. And look, now the head is centered above the front legs where it should be, and it sticks a little bit in front, as does the poofiness, but not like a crazy amount. Then the other thing you can do is you can take this weird, what would that be? It's a quadrilateral, I guess, or yeah, it's like a quadrilateral but not a parallelogram piece, and put that on the front, because Eevee does have like poofy front hair there. This connection is not perfect, but it's better than what we had before in terms of the overall look. And if I had other options there, I would, but I only have these pieces in Eevee colors. Now this is actually a pretty good Eevee just like this, but I don't like that the studs are showing on the bottom, so we're going to try to cover that up. If I had another tile, I might use that here. Like, it'd be nice to tile that whole thing, but I'm going to just cover up those front two and leave that back one. So again, Eevee, this front part has a little bit of a tendency to pop off. Technically, you could do like this and this, but I think that's just way too high. Because then Eevee's head is kind of just like way too high relative to the tail. That's a little bit sturdier, but even then, not very much. So I'm just going to do like this and stick that through. And I still feel like I want to make the legs a little bit longer if I had some pieces to do that. But overall, this is, I think, a better Eevee than what you get in the box. But, you know, this is why we don't always follow the instructions 100%. It's always good to think outside of just what's in the box, instruction-wise, and make some adjustments. That's my Eevee solution, or my Eeveelution. Next up, we have Machop. I think Machop looks really great. Again, they did a great job with the head. I think the eyes and the hair. I guess that's hair. I don't know. It's like a rock, though. So is it hair, or is it just like different colored rock at the top? It's hair. Also, the details on the fists, all really well done. I think Machop is also a Pokemon that lends itself well to being built out of bricks, because it's already kind of a blocky Pokemon. Only real complaint here is that the feet are such that you can put them on a stud like so, but you can't put them on like two studs. The front can't be on a stud, so you have to carefully position studs and tiles when you're placing the feet. Minor complaint, you know, there's plenty of characters across different building lines that have feet they can only be positioned on one stud, not two, so not the end of the world. But yeah, Machop's ready to like throw some fisticuffs. Pew, pew, chop, punch, 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 punch. Machop. I guess kick as well, yeah. Shows off the articulation. Again, you can do like a knee bend. So more fun yoga slash fighting poses. Yoga fighting. That's what Pokemon are for. Next up, we have Magikarp. This is kind of a silly inclusion, as Magikarp is like one of the least useful Pokemon, of course, until you transform them into Gyarados, and by transform I mean evolve, of course. Magikarp, though, they did a great job with the printing on the sides here. These are just really big pieces for the sides. The fins also look nice. This back fin can go like that. These fins have a little bit of movement that way if you want. These ones can slide up and down but can't bend in or out at all. So not quite as posable because it's a fish as opposed to a limbed creature, but still got some room to play, customize with it. It comes with this clear stand piece, and you can fit that into the top of the Pokeball that all of these come with. I'll talk about the Pokeball at the end of the video. But yeah, Magikarp looks pretty great. I don't really have any complaints here. You can also, of course, make Magikarp flop on the ground per their signature move. Flop, 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 flop. I'm Magikarp, flop, flop. Give me experience points and then put me back in the ball. Flop, 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 flop. Next up, we have Pikachu. Pikachu, obviously the most iconic, well-known Pokemon of them all. Looking great here. Love the detail of the brown connection pieces on the tail into the yellow printing on the back here. Great work on the face and the ears. They had to get Pikachu really right. Only real complaint about Pikachu is the kind of big, beefy arms. I mean, this is just the same arm piece they're using for all of them. I think given the fact that it needs to grab a ball joint on one end and hold something on the other end, they couldn't really make this any smaller. And in certain poses, it doesn't look too bad. It's just kind of like sometimes it's like, oh, Pikachu's been working out. Cute little feet down here too. Those can also pose. Pikachu has a hard time standing up because of the tail. That's just kind of how it is for things with tails. But once Pikachu is connected, pretty good in terms of being able to pose. Yeah, these figures are all really posable. I don't know if I've said that enough, but very adorable and posable. Pikachu! What is the noise he makes when he calls down the lightning in Smash Brothers? Pika! I always love that lightning attack. Pika! Lightning. Here's a quick look at Mega Construx Pikachu versus my two custom Lego Pikachus that I made. I think there's a clear winner here, and that I can finally retire these Pikachus I built and reclaim those yellow parts, because the Mega Bloks Pikachu just wins hands down, or hands up in this case, in terms of looking like Pikachu at this size. The printed face does a lot of the work here, as well as the ears. Just also, I think they've got a lot of great posability and look that mine didn't get. Not to say that I'm a bad builder or anything like that, just they made some special pieces and they look really great. It's a great looking Pikachu. And this would not be a Brick 101 video if I didn't build some weird hybrid creation using some of the pieces. So what I did is I took some of the Abra pieces and used a second Abra, plus some of the Pikachu pieces to try and make the character Keaton or Catan from Majora's Mask, which is a three-tailed fox that pops out of a bush and gives you random trivia quizzes. So it's kind of a weird hybrid creature, half Pikachu, half Abra, half Keaton, because there's three halves in every hole. But Jake pointed out that the face here looked really like that mask from the game, so I couldn't resist making this weird creature that falls apart pretty easily. Hey kid, I just popped out of a bush. Would you like to answer some trivia? And then if you win, you can get a mask that looks like my face? Yeah, sure. I've been going around collecting a lot of weird masks recently, so this is like totally up my alley. What's your trivia quiz? Alright, how many tiny cow statues are there in Clocktown? That's a really weird specific thing for me to count. I'll be honest, I wasn't paying attention. Now, let's see. I could use my ocarina and manipulate the flow of time to go back, run around, collect random answers to your trivia quiz, or I could just use this Sheikah smartphone here and look them all up on GameFAQs. 10. Kid, that's kind of cheating, but you are correct, so let me do a dance and ask you a couple more questions. How many times has Brick 101 misnamed a character in one of his videos? Ooh, well, there was that time he called Daphne Velma. That's a really famous one. He also just recently called Springtrap Plush Trap, and he called, what, Bonbon Bonnet? So, I mean, it's like too many to count. That is the correct answer, too many to count. Here, have my face. Da-da-da-da. I guess. I don't know. I really only got this mask so I could trade it to somebody later and get Fierce Deity Link. Da-da-da-da. Last and best, we have Zubat. I think of all of the Pokemon from these first 6, Zubat does the best job of looking just like the character in-game without kind of any compromises. The face print is really great. The tiny ears are nice. They used for the body one of the face pieces, but without any printing. The coloring on the wings is really well done. The back is a little boring right here with this connection point for the clear thing, but that's totally fine. The little tail things are great. I don't know, there's antennae, tails, whatever. Zubat looks really great. I think the best of these 6 in terms of just purely looking like the character. But I think they all did a pretty good job, except for Eevee. So yeah, really great lineup, I think, of Pokemon in these first Pokeball sets. Oh, let me talk about the Pokeball. Part of what makes these sets a little more expensive is the Pokeball that you get with your Pokemon. So the Pokeball has 2 pieces. The white bottom piece, pretty boring. The upper piece has kind of all the cool coloring details, red plus the black band, which you can see is actually 2 different pieces of plastic, because you can see the kind of connection points plus that white bit there. So it actually looks like multiple plastic pieces which are stuck together, as opposed to being a double, color mold or painting on that, which is a really great choice. You actually get some texture differences of the different pieces here rather than just being painted on. So it looks and feels really nice. The tops are flattened so that you can actually use them for building. They build on top of one another really well. If you've got a bunch of these, you can also, of course, display your Pokemon on the top of the ball. They all do that pretty well in terms of the Pokemon in here. Of course, some of them have the sticks, so you need to put those in. You can also fit each Pokemon inside the ball if you have to do a little bending for some of them, but they all fit inside pretty well, so that you can actually, pretend they're real and summon them into battle. Oh, Eevee's head fell off. That's my fault this time. Yeah. So yeah, you can put the Pokemon in the Pokeball, throw it. This Pokeball is a little small for my hand size to be, a real life Pokeball. The custom Lego Pokeball that I reviewed before is a little more my size, but then again, the target audience of this is probably younger and has smaller hands, so probably actually a really good size for a child-sized hand. So yeah, overall, I really like these sets. I had a bias against Mega Construx sets in the past when they were called Mega Block sets, but this line, I think, makes a really strong case for Mega Construx. in general and this line in particular. I think they've done a really great job using these ball joint pieces to give all these characters interesting articulation. The fact that they're using a lot of different colors to really match the Pokemon and their colors from the game probably is driving the price up a little bit, but it's really great. These are really great toys, really great representations of these classic Pokemon. Little pricey for the pieces you're getting here, but again, I think a really great collector's item if you're a Pokemon fan and like building stuff. So overall, these get a big thumbs up from Dave at Brick 101. If you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up by clicking the like button. And remember to subscribe to Brick 101 and check out all my other building toy reviews.